My mother likes my content. You know what I saw? Right. My parents, chat, they watch the videos, the clip channels, the live stream watchbacks. I didn't realize how much they were watching, but my mum does it as well. I knew my dad watched the content in the clip channels, but my mum does as well. My mum watches the clip channels. So we were talking today about the John Jones situation and the Tom Aspinall becoming undisputed and all of this. Because normally my dad will mention something that is like came up in the videos, but today he mentioned something like, you see that Gilbert Burns was talking about you? I went, what? He's like, yeah, Gilbert Burns, he was talking about you. Saw it on the on Grey Shirt or something. He actually mentioned Grey Shirt to me. Oh, Grey Shirt's in there. There you go, Grey Shirt. His mum watches Grey Shirt. Grey Shirt, yeah. But she does as well. You can never call your viewers losers now. Funnily enough, my mum said that I was like, so do you watch all this stuff? And she went, yeah, I'm a loser. I went, all right, well, they're not losers just for watching. Why did you pick Smith to beat Jones? Why did you pick Smith to beat Jones? I didn't. I didn't actually pick Smith to beat Jones. I picked Reyes too. You wouldn't watch your son's streams? No. I might have made a video saying how dangerous he was for Jones, though. I used to do that about all of the big underdogs going into fights, talking about how dangerous they were. Yeah, mum, chill. We're not losers. Maybe a little, yeah. Your mum seems funny. Who do you think you get your sense of humor from? Both. My mum's quite funny, but it's my dad. It's all of the men in my family. Like, my whole life. I don't know if anyone else does this or anyone else's family does this. If it's a family event, the men of the family are literally competing the entire time to get the best one-liners off and the best common jokes to be said. And you know what joke's coming every time. If someone brings up this joke is what's going to be said there. Oh, don't let it do this. You know what I mean? Oh, well, actually, that's enough of it. These like old Englishy jokes. So they're just constantly cracking jokes. That's been my family system. You know what I mean? And there's so much repeated jokes as well that are just ongoing, like, you know. How many times out of 100 do you beat Lucas Tracy in a fight? He's in good shape, right? Lucas Tracy is in good shape. He lifts. He's strong. I reckon over 90 times. I reckon. I think so. He has a cookbook. Yeah, you got to consider the cookbook and stuff like that. But I think over 90 times. Lel. I haven't heard that in ages. Not since League of Legends. Lel. Is Lucas on roids? He's also 5'2". Nah, he's not 5'2", but if he's short like 5'6", then I don't think he's on roids. You can get in that level of shape being a bit shorter. You greatly exaggerate your fighting ability. Dude, I'm talking about Lucas Tracy. Not an MMA fighter. Fucking hell, man. I think I can scrap, chat. That's what I think. I'm a good scrap. I've got a good chin. I'm massive. I'm pretty fast. And I'm quite good. And I think I'm quite tough. I'm not a well-trained, well-versed fighter, but I did martial arts all throughout my childhood. And I did some Muay Thai when I was an adult. I think I've got a good jump on a lot of people in a 1v1. And I'm fucking borderline pushing 6'4", fucking 255 pounds. Decently lean muscle. I think I'd be alright, chat. I could lose like 20 pounds of fat, though. Bro thinks he can fight. I don't. I'm not saying I can beat any UFC fighters, man. Said Lucas Tracy. God, it's Lucas Tracy, man. It's not a fucking UFC legend. I'm not saying this about Volk, am I? Bradley Martin mentality. It's not. The Bradley Martin was saying this about Demetrius Johnson, a world champion. I'd stand no chance of beating Demetrius Johnson in a fight outside of a fluke. I'm not dumb. What if you found out you're 5% Indian? Well, I've already done my fucking DNA test when I was younger, so beat those allegations. Is Lucas Tracy joking when he says he trains? I haven't watched enough of his stuff to tell. I don't know if he currently trains, but he does train, like, working out. I don't know if he currently trains any kind of martial art. Bedtime does train. Bedtime probably beat me. But how big's Bedtime, chat? He didn't look like he hits that hard. I was watching his fight clips. But Bedtime looks well trained at least. So Bedtime probably beat me. Yeah, Bedtime probably beat me. Bedtime probably beat me. But I'd have a good chance. I think I'd stand a good chance. But Bedtime, I was watching his fights. He doesn't have, like, snapping things that he does. Like, he doesn't have an aggressive, fast twitch snap. He's quite lean and he has quite a good physique, but he is a bit shorter, so typically you do have a decent physique when you're a bit shorter. But, you know, I reckon Bedtime would beat me. But I'd have a really good shot, I reckon. I'm just big, chat, man. I'd push him into something and hold him there and throw, you know. I'm quite a big unit. Like, if I get angry, I'm quite an intimidating, autistic, Down syndrome ogre. Like, when I get angry, it's like, have you ever been around, like, a 6'5" Down syndrome person? Where when a Down syndrome person is 5'1", they're kind of adorable in a way. But when they're like a giant autist downer, they're very intimidating because you don't know, you know? So that's what I think I'm similar to, in a way. Where can you watch Bedtime's fights? Just type in Bedtime MMA fight. Or Muay Thai or kickboxing. Something like that. He did a video breaking one of them down. He's done 2. I've seen 2 different fights of his. And you know what I have seen, though? MMA Che. He trains, but again, there's no twitch in anything that he does. I don't know if he was maybe he was holding back against his friends. But he was like schooling his friends on stream once. And they were all coming into the gym and he was out striking them and stuff. And I was thinking, dude, he ain't got no pop in his shots, man. These guys need some athletic sting. Some big douche, you know? Some jolt of energy out of them. I don't think either of them have it. No, I just know I was a menace, dude. When I was younger, I was a bit of a menace athletically. I was a chubby kid, innit? Like, I was a very fat kid. And I was in the top set of PE. Around all of, like, the best athletes while being fat. So I know I can move for my size. Enough talking about this shit, though. Otherwise, it just gets vain. Hog Tour. Okay. Do you think you're more jacked than MMA experts? I have no idea what he looks like, but I would assume I am. I'm more jacked than most guys. Living off past achievements. Bro thinks he's Jones. No, it's not past achievements when I'm describing my athleticism, because that sticks with you. Shut up, dude. Physical education 10 years ago. No, like, it does. You know where you stack up against people, you know. I was becoming a man and I was outpacing these guys. Joshing. Blitzing around. Do you think you beat Bear from the Jackson podcast? Yeah, I'd say so. I don't know how well he trained, though, but I'd say so. But I don't know about his training. He's probably done a lot of training by now, so maybe not. If all the MMA YouTuber wants to meet up and spar, would you show up? MMA YouTube Royal Rumble would go unbelievably hard, honestly. So, let me think about that. You imagine we did an MMA YouTuber Royal Rumble where we, like, dimmed the lights and wondered who was going to walk out, and it's fucking Hopper MMA. Hopper MMA! And his opponent fighting out of the red corner. It's the one, the only. 5. That's my impression of him. Impression of Yoel finding out he's black. Hey! Who took my phone? Hang on a minute. It's in my other hand. Thank you for the $2. I don't know. It's in my other hand. I don't know if that's how it works. Let them all juice roster off TRT Vitors and Ubereams. True. We're watching you as a family, you incel. Sorry. Thank you for the $2. I'm sorry for shaming you. Why am I an incel now? You're the one watching me on your fucking iPad at dinner. What's going on, mate? You know what I get the vibe from you, FM57? I don't mean to like harp on you about this, but watching me at dinner as a family is insane, but I respect it massively. But if not, yeah, I find that so funny, the idea of a grown man. Like, they're all trying to watch some like TV show and then they can just hear you playing Angry Birds on the iPad. Imagine this guy's whole family at a funeral mourning for someone. And then in the background, you can just hear... I don't know. Thank you for the 2. But respect for having your whole family watch me, dude. That's revolutionary, right? How that works. Lol, you haven't been laid in a while, bub. I know, but hey, I'm alright with it. Thank you for the 2. BMF belt should be when number 1 pound for pound is on the line. Yes. Thank you for the $2. True that. My 8-year-old son said, "How's Guru today?" You know what? I do get a lot of Instagram messages from like people showing that their family are watching or their son's watching me. I had a couple posts. I've had a few messages on Instagram before where someone has brought their kid to a UFC crowd, or like a younger kid, not a toddler or anything, but like a young kid, like a 10, 11-year-old or some shit, and or some kind of event, and they're watching the fights, and their kid, their son, he'll like record down to the son, and he's watching my fight companion on his like iPad or something with earpieces in, watching the fights. So that's kind of interesting. Belt and nothing else. Jesus. It wasn't just the fact that Rogan forgot Sadikov's name, but he didn't even know who Sandhagen fought last when he was on the show. Who's the casual? Sometimes Joe Rogan doesn't know things to provoke the guest into answering themselves. So I haven't seen it yet, but if Joe Rogan said something like, "And who did you fight last again?" It sort of provokes Sandhagen. Even if Rogan might know it, stops him answering everything for Sandhagen. And it kind of provokes him into conversation. So, I don't know. It could have been one of those things. But I was listening to it, and there was a lot of things that pissed me off about it, for sure. Turo and Charles don't go over the second round. I think it ends in the first. Watched Yan Corey during my grandma's funeral. That was a sick fight, though, to be fair. She would have understood. And out of Norway. Never mind. Maybe he is, though. I don't know. Probably not. Merjoev. Torpal. Yeah, I don't think so. First in line to fight a gorilla or last in line with Bonnie Blue? You know what? Last in line with Bonnie Blue. I'll be honest with you. And I've had this answer before. I've said this answer before. But if I'm last in line to Bonnie Blue, by the time I get to her, she's going to be a fucking mess anyway, and I can get away with it. Like, I can just get away with faking it, in all honesty. So what I'd do is, and again, I've said this before, I'd like wrap my finger with some kind of like anti-corrosive material that can't be dissolved by any sort of like kind of corrosive acid. And then I'd put it in her and act like it was my dick from behind. And I'd probably just go, "Oh, oh," and spit on her back and act like I've just sort of spaffed all over her back. So that would be what I would do. I'd just sort of put it in there for a bit, act like it's my dick, and then go, "Oh, it's coming," and spit on her back and then get away with it, I think. And that way you get out of there, no risks, you know what I mean? You don't die, your dick don't fall off 2 days later, you know what I mean? I'd imagine that's what happens. I don't know, everyone seems to like be okay with STDs now, but I don't ever want any of them. So I don't know. That's how that was my generation, I think. I think my generation was the last one that cared about having STDs a little bit. And not wanting them, you know what I'm saying? But no one really gives a shit anymore. Orban? Me and Orban, no one else. I record at the same studio and as Brady and Pfeiffer and caught them watching Guru John Jones video in the car before recording their pod. I see them weekly. Any message from you? You know how Gilbert Burns was so casually talking about how he watched all of the videos about Ian Gary and John Jones and all of that. It's crazy. Thank you for the $2, dude. I wouldn't be surprised if they did watch a few videos. Dude, let's face it. If you're in the MMA world, you're watching the John Jones MMA Guru saga going down. I truly believe so. Even if you don't like me and don't find it funny, you gotta watch, you know? He said he didn't watch them. No, he did say he watched the Ian Gary ones and the other ones, but he didn't watch the John Jones ones. And you know what's crazy? Fighters are only now speaking up about this, which is good. But not enough fighters speak about PEDs in MMA. At all. Not like barely any of them even reference it anymore. It used to be a thing when USADA first came along, where there were so many fighters like, oh, finally I get to call these people out for being on roids. And we saw Bisping pave the way with that. And a lot of other fighters were massive. Like, they build an entire identity around trashing people on roids. But then it kind of went away. And now people accept it. And it's really weird. But Tom Aspinall said, Tom Aspinall on PEDs in MMA. If your job is to physically hurt another person, which could potentially redirect the rest of their lives, you're an absolute piece of shit, and you should never be able to fight again if you have any PED stuff. It's like taking a gun to a knife fight. How can you look yourself in the mirror when you know that you're cheating? You could potentially damage the other person for life. It's fucking disgusting, mate. It's absolutely fucking rank, mate. Thoughts on Strickland fans saying shit like he went off at the presser and it's just him doing an unbearable impression of someone's uncle? I saw that stuff with Laura Sanko. You know what? It's quite uncomfortable, you know. He's talking about Laura Sanko's looks the whole time, and he's funny, Strickland, yeah, but sometimes it's just like, there's funny, but when you're making someone really uncomfortable with it, it's interesting, you know. I didn't know how to feel about that. It was funny to watch, but it was also just like, come on, man. The problem I have with them doing that is they want Paddy to lose and us not to ever get the Ilya Topuria Paddy Pimlet fight. You know? Bedtime does this now and again as well with certain fighters where I'm like, dude, this is the coolest thing ever. It's not just like, you know, thinking a prediction about what their career is going to end up like or anything like that. That's one thing. But then sometimes I'll hear them and I'll be like, dude, did you not want the coolest fucking matchups we ever could get? You should be rooting for this, at least. But it seems like it's the new niche to root against it, I guess, right? Like, being entertaining to, like, watch a fight build up of is just, you know, not okay. That's the worst base for MMA, apparently. Bro, you crashed out over Marab win, which is the coolest thing ever. Marab win is not the coolest thing ever. Shut the fuck up. It's not the coolest thing ever at all. Did you see DJ say Buck versus Cuck? Then Ian Gary walked in. He said, there's Ian Gary, the Cuck. He said it on the fucking pod. Crazy. It's great. Paddy has the most personality at 155. And you know what? It's not like he's insanely funny. It's just he gives you things to watch, like to think about, to pay attention to in the build-up and shit, you know? There's always some kind of interaction between him and other fighters. He just has he has his own camera crew with him, you know? I did see Derek Brunson's tweets about John Jones, yeah. I was going to put him in my video, but I just wanted to stick on one topic, but yeah, I did see him. We spoke about him on stream the other day for a brief moment. But yeah, he said, John Jones and I used to hang out about every day when I was in town from 2011 to 2014. One night we went out and I said to him, bro, why are you doing all of this? Let's just hang out with the ladies and have fun. The extra stuff isn't needed. They're already here with us. He looked at me and said, I don't need a dad, I need a friend. This was the last time we hung out. I couldn't sit back and watch. I have to be honest with my friends. Intriguing. He needs the extra stuff. Very interesting. I don't know if you'll like 28 years later. Damn, dude, don't say that. I'm going to watch it soon at some point. Still searching for Silver's mum's kid with 3 men. Yeah. Dude, I didn't realize Derek Brunson got shit on for that take. Saying that he needs someone to tell him, you know, I said to him, bro, why are you doing all this? Let's just hang out with the ladies and have fun. I'd drop you if you blew my high too. Source, trust me, bro. But using sex female attention to distract from using stuff wouldn't have worked either. He went on to be greater than you, so I guess he was right. What's the purpose of this tweet other than to draw attention to yourselves? Friends don't dime out friends. If you had something to say, reach out to them. Like, gee, the amount they defend John Jones is insane. It's absolutely insane, these black people. Absolutely insane. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Could Derek Lewis smoke Tom? No, he could not. No chance. Oh, God. Yuri's chin is going after Kai Kara France for crying at the fucking fight I'm in. He said 1/758th Maori purely through marriage, by the way. Oh, no. I think he have some, like, ancestors with it. Something like that. Have you heard of that annoying ass show called Love Island? All the women are posting about it. It's annoying. Yeah, it's just for women and gays, right? I actually watched a season of it when I was a teenager in the UK. Or like a late teenager. Not a full season, but I ended up watching like a few things of it. But it was just degenerate shit, you know? It just ends up being degenerate shit, basically, the whole time. What was the season where I watched it? I can't even remember any of the names of the people. But I watched a few of them, and then I checked who won. But it is the gayest thing ever, in it, yeah? It just is so fucking weird. You know what it is? It's actually, like... The whole concept of it is very, like, let's destroy society type thing, you know? With the way they do stuff with the challenges, and they make the other couple watch is so...